Fox08 back again. What is everybody? This is my thoughts on WrestleMania 33. This was a very much of a roller coaster of a WrestleMania. It was exactly what it promoted to be so. The ultimate thrill ride. Although it's not called WrestleMania 33, it's called WrestleMania, the ultimate thrill ride. And that it very much was. You had your ups and you had your downs, you had your peaks and your valleys and your droughts, and you had your plateaus and you had your high dives, you had your highlights and your lowlights, and you had everything. And this WrestleMania did cater to just about everybody. It catered to the casual fans, the soap opera people with the John Cena and the mixed tag bullshit going on. It catered to, the people who liked the current wrestling, like the build up to proper wrestling storylines, such as Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, such as Bray Wyatt and stuff like that. It catered to, your nostalgic people like Goldberg versus Lesnar did. But what this WrestleMania will ultimately be about will be about The Undertaker. And other than Roman Reigns saying he's going to put an end to The Undertaker's career, he is going to be the one to end The Undertaker's career. Other than saying that 2 or 3 times, they didn't really say too much about it. It was more about, I'm the big dog, and you're in my yard now. You're the old dog, and I'm basically going to put you to sleep. It was painfully obvious, though. It was all about The Undertaker. This was The Undertaker's WrestleMania. And they did it right by having that match main event. And I know a lot of stupid, smart, Marky Mark fanboys out there are going to go and bitch and moan about Roman Reigns being the one to end The Undertaker's career and how he did it and didn't necessarily turn heel. And I'm just saying, I'll talk more about that a little later and get into greater detail. Let's start it out. I watched this show from very beginning all the way to the very end. The pre-show was just a pre-show, nothing special to it. The cruiserweights did their job. They had a fine cruiserweight championship match. Nothing really to drive home about. Nothing really. I really wish this was on the main card. Hey, maybe if Flow Rider got cut, maybe you could have had this match on that card. But whatever the fuck, they want to do what they wanted to do. Neville got the W. Yeah, fine match. The Battle Royale. Well, if there was any evidence whatsoever they didn't give a shit about the Battle Royale, this was basically it. They could have had Braun Strowman win. That would have made sense. Or at least could have gave it the Big Show. Maybe Sami Zayn, I'm actually glad he didn't win. But, it would have made sense, sure. I'm very happy Dolph Ziggler did not get on the main show. That, for me at least, is a gigantic positive. And can you say, fuck Dolph Ziggler? That one's for you, OTRS Central. Fuck Dolph Ziggler indeed. But it came down between Mojo Rawley and Jinder Mahal. And they battle the outside. Out comes this Kronk, this tight end for the New England Patriots, whatever his name is. I guess his nickname's Kronk. But the funniest thing is this woman security guard wasn't in on the idea that this guy was supposed to do this. So she's trying to hold him back and trying to escort him out of the building. Like she was trying to do something. And all these other securities and all these other referees were like telling her, no, it's part of the thing, That was funny. So they do this thing, and Mojo gets the W, and whatever. Give it to Luke Harper, but I don't know. Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin. This pissed me off. The fact that Dean Ambrose, the guy who, replaced John Cena, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar even, the guy who replaced Sting and Daniel Bryan, and the guy who replaced all these, okay, he didn't replace Sting or Brock Lesnar, but he replaced all these full-time guys. He replaced all those guys because they were injured, because he got suspended, because all these things. And he ultimately gets repaid because of this. At least he retained the title. But man, what a difference a year makes. He goes from getting his ass whipped in one of the worst matches at WrestleMania against Lesnar, winning the WWE Championship, and then just nothing much going for him after that. At least he defended it successfully. I guess they didn't want Baron Corbin to win the title on the pre-show, but whatever. Baron Corbin, looked to see him winning on a SmackDown or on Backlash or Payback or the fuck's next. Anyways, whatever. Finally, we get to the show. The 5-hour long WrestleMania. I'm begging you, please. Don't do 5-hour WrestleManias ever again. Please don't. Do 4 hours and maybe a 90-minute pre-show would be fine. But please don't. AJ Styles versus Shane O'Mac. Yeah, I see a lot of people were booing this matchup. AJ Styles deserved better. Maybe he did. I always thought Styles and Cena still had a lot going for it. There was still a lot there that you could build off of. Styles still had one more match against Cena. He never did get his rematch against John Cena. I thought there was a lot still there. I thought if The Miz couldn't face Daniel Bryan, The Miz versus Shane O'Mac would have been more ideal. But this was a great opener for this WrestleMania. Have it kickstart with a great high point. And Shane O'Mac, yeah, he didn't jump off anything huge. He didn't jump off of the stage like I anticipated. He didn't fall off the ramp, that gigantic ramp like I anticipated he would. But he did pull out the shooting star press. And that's how you do it, Brock Lesnar. An elbow drop to the table. And this, yeah, it went a little long. But this was the longest of the SmackDown matches. And this was by far the best SmackDown match on the WrestleMania card. There was only 4. And this was by far the best SmackDown match. A very good opener to a, well, whatever the fuck WrestleMania. Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho. This was the best build WrestleMania match. This had the most build. Kevin Owens comes out and there's a video package in place of his entrance. That was funny. Jericho had this Christmas light up vest that he had, or the scarf. Very cool entrance. The inflatable list of Jericho. Very cool. This going on second. Maybe this should have been on later and flip it, go on later maybe. Well, whatever. It didn't follow well after Styles McMahon, but they still did a decent job. I thought Kevin Owens barely getting his, just having one finger on the bottom rope in order to break up the pin was great. Good stuff. A good match. Not as good as the opener, but still a good match. I thought this would have been the match of the night. It ultimately wasn't, but still a good match. The Raw Women's title match. This match had a lot of things going for it, but they did everything wrong in their way. Instead of doing Bayley, the challenger, going up against Charlotte one-on-one for the Raw Women's Championship, the undefeated, undisputed, with the streak intact, with the title intact around Charlotte's waist, and then Bayley wins the title and beats Charlotte's streak. I thought that would have been money. I thought that would have been money. Instead, you have Nia Jax in there. You have Sasha Banks in there. You have Charlotte in there. And this match wasn't as good as last year's women's match. Nia Jax got eliminated first with a triple powerbomb. Whatever. Sasha Banks got out next. There was no heel turn. There was none of that stuff, actually. None of the things, we didn't get a Roman Reigns heel turn. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan didn't show up for Bray Wyatt, but whatever the fuck. At least Bayley retained, though. Honestly, this was a disappointing women's title match. The entrances were funny because Bailey's wacky, wavy, inflatable while playing two men did not, were not very wacky and inflatable whatsoever. That was funny. This match was fine, I guess. Not as good, not nearly as good as last year's. It was fine. At least Bailey retained, right? Now we get to probably the biggest markout moment, probably the highlight, the highest of the highs. This is where the roller coaster. This is where it's at its peak, right here. This really needed a pick me up. You have this ladder match, this triple threat ladder match for the Raw Tag Team titles. You have 8 Ball and Chains. I mean, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, not bad. You have Enzo and Cass, and you have the New Day as a special host, and you have Cesaro and Sheamus, and it looks like New Day is going to be the fourth team. They're in their ring gear, they're teasing it, and then out pops the Hardy Boys' music. I know a lot of people are talking about, is this broken Matt Hardy? He was doing the delete thing, but they're still the Hardy Boys. They're still the classic Hardy Boys. Yeah, he's doing the delete thing, but they're still doing the classic Hardy Boys stuff. But that doesn't matter either. Jeff Hardy got the Swanton Bomb with the big ass ladder, even though he missed Sheamus still. He got the big ass Swanton. Matt Hardy climbed the ladder and got the Raw Tag Team Championships. And think of that. Kurt Angle's in the Hall of Fame. Kurt Angle's back. Might be the Raw General Manager. Goldberg just came back. Was the Universal Champion. Yeah, Brock Lesnar. And now the Hardy Boys. Wowzers. And not a lot of people are talking about this, but Jeff Hardy finally broke his reverse Undertaker losing streak. He was 0-5. Now he's 1-5. He finally got his victory at WrestleMania. So this at this point in time, WrestleMania had peaked. The very first two matches were good. The women's title match was disappointing. The Raw Tag Team title brought this show back and brought it back to life. And then we get to the mixed tag match between John Cena and Nikki Bella and Miz and Maurice. And you know what? This match, I thought, might have been better than their match at WrestleMania 27 1-on-1, but now I really don't know. The build-up was awesome. Miz and Maurice made this match as much and as important as possible. And John Cena said, I will destroy you. You're not even in my league, basically. You're nothing. John Cena acting like a complete douchebag. I don't know how he isn't a douchebag at this point, but. So John Cena and Nikki Bella, they pull off the victory. Marie got very little offense in there. She was in there all of 30 seconds, but this match was 9 minutes. Miz dominates. John Cena gets the hot tag. Nikki Bella beats up Maurice. They both do their finishers, and that's it. And then we have an obvious, underwhelming, scripted proposal. And no, it's not Macho Man and Ms. Elizabeth. Absolutely not. But you know what? It felt like they tried to make this feel like it was real, and obviously it wasn't. But this was a moment for your grandma, for your mother, for your older wrestling, this was a moment for your soap opera wrestling fans, your grandmother, your grandparents, people like that. So it didn't do anything for me, but this was an atrocious match. This was really bad. Honestly, if I think about it, this might have been the worst match on the card, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe it was. The Miz was getting cheered like crazy. And this was bad. The proposal was stupid. Need to kick it back in high gear. And high gear it did. Triple H Seth Rollins. You have God. Triple H on his fucking motor trot or tri. Whatever the fuck those vehicles are called. And he has Stephanie on the back with sexy gear going on. He has his vest, and it's such a cool entrance. He has these fucking statues on the monitors on the stage. Speaking of which, the stage, the greatest stage I ever had. Unbelievable visuals, out of the charts. Seth Rollins had his entrance when he had the flame. I guess he stole the flame from The Rock from last year. He had the flames and he put it right on the stage, and you had flames being on the LED boards as they went all the way to the ramp into the ring. That was cool. Great entrances. This was a superb match. Match of the night easily. AJ Styles, Shane, very close second. This was a very good match. It went 25 minutes. It was the longest match on the card, I do believe so. And, there was no Samoa Joe. There was no Finn Balor. I'm not really sure why. I'm sure maybe it would have helped. I really like the spot where Triple H had his reverse leg lock in, whatever the fuck he wants to call it, the reverse Indian death lock on Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins reached underneath the ring to grab anything and everything he could. He threw chairs at him, cables, but then he threw out that sledgehammer. And that sledgehammer slid past Triple H. And then Triple H saw the sledgehammer and he had this look on his face. Like he's like a fat man when he sees dinner. Like when a fat man sees cake, or when a woman sees chocolate, whatever. He had this look on his face, like, wow, crazy. This was a great match. It's great that Seth Rollins beats Triple H, and Triple H now has the most losses in all of WrestleMania history. And so WrestleMania has peaked again. It has reached its second highlights. It has reached that second hill. And it's about to go down, and down it goes, all the way down to hell when we get our Pitbull concert. But hey, everybody needs to take a piss break, and I'm sure a good 25,000, 30,000 fans did so. And that's that. Fine. Then we get to, I said the mixed tag match was the worst. Well, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, WWE Championship. If I ever made a list of the top 10 matches where the video packages and the entrances are better than the match itself, this would be number one. The video package, amazing. Amazing video package. Story's wacky, but amazing visuals. The visual of Randy Orton coming out, and he has that Viper following him down the ramp. On that ramp, that was incredible. Bray Wyatt's entrance, fully dark, incredible stuff. Where they did the canvas and they did this projectile where you had worms and these fucking parasites showing on the canvas and bugs, and that's creepy. Visually, good stuff. But this was a terrible, terrible match otherwise. This was the drizzling shits. Maybe this was the worst match on the card. SmackDown side of WrestleMania was not very good outside of Shane versus Styles. That's for damn sure. Raw had all the highlights. All the big moments. This was a shitty match. And Bray Wyatt was a terrible champion. He should never have been champion to begin with, honestly. I felt Randy Orton should have been the WWE champion, and Bray Wyatt should have been the challenger. He should have been the Royal Rumble winner. But whatever. Bray Wyatt should have won this match, but of course he doesn't. Because that's Bray Wyatt. That's the legacy of Bray Wyatt. And Bray Wyatt goes 0-3. And if you want to count WrestleMania 32, where he and the Wyatt family got their asses whipped by John Cena and The Rock as a big loss, and I actually do consider it, well, he's 0-4 then. Again, the reverse Undertaker, the Tito Santana. He is the new Jeff Hardy. He is winless at WrestleMania. And he continues to prove that they can't capitalize on him. They can't capitalize him. You thought giving him the championship meant that he was a main event player. You're an idiot. You're dumb. He is exactly what he is. A glorified jobber. He is. A glorified jobber. Too bad. Sorry. It's the way it is. Believe that. Then we get Goldberg, Brock Lesnar. At first, I actually did not like this match because I know Lesnar winning, and I hate that Lesnar winning. But now that I rewatched it again, this time by myself, without any voices in my head, yeah, any voices, any friends yelling in my ears. This, watching alone, I fully appreciate this match now. Goldberg, hell of an entrance. Lesnar, hell of an entrance. And they did everything they could. This was a match for your nostalgic fans. This was for your hardcore nostalgic fans. These two guys came in there and they ripped the dog piss out of each other. They ripped each other in half. It was spears. It was suplexes. It was jackhammers. It was F5s. And that's all you got. And that's all you needed. You didn't need technical wrist locks and wrist holds and waist locks. You didn't need arm locks. You didn't need a 30-minute rest hold. You don't need shooting star presses. You don't need 450 splashes. You don't need flip-flops and loop-de-loops and super kicks for days. You can take those indie darling. You can take your Ricochet, Will Ospreay matches and you can shove them sideways up your candy asses. You can take Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for the 10,000th, billion, trillionth, zillionth time and shove it up your ass. This match was Demolition Derby. It was Demolition Derby. Who the fuck cares that there wasn't technical? They weren't technical. There was no high spots and high level stuff like that. No. It was down and gritty. No bullshit. Cut the bullshit. Right to the good stuff. German suplexes. German suplexes. Spear. Spear. Spear through a barricade. More Germans. And more Germans. And more Germans. It was a spear. It was more spears. It was a jackhammer. It was a kick out. It was a spear into a damn leapfrog over. That was cool. Lesnar leapfrogs over Goldberg. Ram, bam, right into the turnbuckle. It was more Germans. An F5. Another F5. And that was it. That was the match. In 4 minutes and 47 seconds, that was the match. And they did far more than any person has ever fathomed to think. 10 German suplexes with a whopping 5 or 7 spears. And there were a lot of spears. This was a demolition derby. And it was right not to main event. This was the pick-me-up that we needed from that draining, that awful WWE Championship match, then that awful concert, and the John Cena crap. This was another heel. Another heel. And we're about to go all the way down. We're about to go down. This WrestleMania has reached another valley, another huge part. I liked this match. I didn't like the outcome. Thought Goldberg winning would have been better, actually. But this is the best thing Goldberg has done since WCW. And this is the best thing Brock Lesnar has done since WrestleMania 31 with Roman Reigns. And that is damn true. This is the best Brock Lesnar match since then. I'm dead serious. Good stuff. Next up, the SmackDown Women's. Get your shit in. This was all about entrance. Feel the glow. It was all about Naomi. She got her title back in the big stage. I'm glad she got her moment. Nothing else much to talk about. Finally, we get the main event. The match that should have main evented all along. Roman Reigns, The Undertaker. And for me personally, Roman Reigns being my most favorite superstar right now, and I know, and Undertaker being my most favorite superstar of all time, and it's always back and forth with him and Sting. A lot of emotions were wailing high. I rewatched it. At first, I didn't really like it that much. It made me sad watching this match because there was a couple of parts in this match where it kind of derailed, and Undertaker wasn't all the way there. But then I watched it again, and I watched it a third time, and now I really like this match. This is not about Roman Reigns. This is not about Roman Reigns. It's all about The Undertaker. For 27 years, he's never left. He's done it all. He's seen it all. He's gone through every single era that there was. He's seen a lot of highs. He's seen a lot of lows. He's seen the business changed a million times over. Am I saying Roman Reigns was the right opponent to end The Undertaker's career? Absolutely not. I am not saying that. John Cena would have been ideal. Triple H at WrestleMania 28, end of an era, would have been ideal. Hell, him versus CM Punk, that visual of him hosting the urn with following the death of his friend Paul Bearer, that would have been a way to end. The streak ending. You end the streak, you might as well end the career too. What's left of The Undertaker? That could have ended it, but ultimately I felt that that would have been bad to end it because The Undertaker offers so much more than just the streak. Undertaker is so much more than just the streak. And I realize now that the streak had to die. Not in the way I wanted it, but the streak had to have died. But that way that The Undertaker's career could really be appreciated for other stuff. 31, absolutely not. 32 was just random. But after you hold on, and you hold on, and you hold on for so long, you get to the point where you have your last match. And this is finally going to be it. And I know a lot of people are skeptical. Sure, people are skeptical. I mean, after all, this is The Undertaker. I've been talking about his retirement since 2011. Sure. But I think this is it. All signs were obvious. Roman Reigns said, "I will retire The Undertaker," only twice, but they kept it quiet. This was not a career-threatening match. This was not advertised as a career-threatening match. And sure, maybe Triple H ending it would have been ideal. Maybe even Edge, or John Cena, or Randy Orton, or Shawn Michaels, or maybe Sting, or maybe Kane. But when you hold on, and you hold on for so long, you don't get that ideal retirement with The Undertaker. No, this is not the ideal retirement. This is not a picture perfect retirement. Steve Austin was a perfect retirement. Shawn Michaels was. Ric Flair was until he ruined his. Daniel Bryan did not. Neither did Edge. Neither did The Undertaker. And would I rather liked Undertaker walkouts against Sting or against Kane or even John Cena, this was still fine. There was a really bad moment where Roman Reigns couldn't get him up for that tombstone to reverse the tombstone into the tombstone. But they quickly scrapped it and quickly got back into the match. There was also a weird point where Roman Reigns looked like he was going to finish off The Undertaker, but then he hit him again and he hit him again, and then did an Ultimate Warrior-like spear as he bounced off the ropes like 10 times, hit the spear, and that's it. 5 spears, one through a table. And The Undertaker, it's over. I know a lot of people are bitching and moaning about Roman Reigns being the one to end the career of The Undertaker. Maybe he didn't deserve it. But like I said, it wasn't ideal. But know this. The Undertaker is an old school guy. The Undertaker is a very old school guy. And he's the man who's kept his character intact for 27 years. Even with American Badass withstanding. He, above all, knows what's right for business. He, whether you want to like it or not, you have to respect this. The Undertaker chose Roman Reigns. The Undertaker chose Roman Reigns to end his career. That's true. It's true. It's damn true. Roman Reigns was chosen by The Undertaker to end the career. It's not about Roman Reigns, though. And yes, he didn't turn heel. You know what? Him turning heel would have been dumb. Why would it have been dumb? Because people would have been talking about how awesome it is that Roman Reigns is finally heel. People would have been talking about Roman Reigns' heel turn, not talking about The Undertaker's career. It's like with WrestleMania 30. Yeah, Daniel Bryan's the champion, but the streak died. Everyone wants to talk about Daniel Bryan. No, the streak died. You know, it would have been like that. Roman Reigns is heel. But Undertaker's career is over. What do you talk about? Here, you can ignore Roman Reigns turning heel. You can do that on Raw, maybe. Maybe you can do it again another time. I don't think he ever will, honestly. But you can do it somewhere down the road. This was not the right way to do it. Undertaker needed this moment, and he needed it. And my God, it was a grander moment. I had to watch it 3 times. I cried every single time. He is the greatest superstar that ever lived. There will never be another guy like The Undertaker. There will be another Hogan. There will be Steve Austin's. There will be The Rock's. There will be John Cena's. Roman Reigns may not be that next guy, but you know what? Doesn't matter. There is no other Undertaker. And you can shit and you can poop on Roman Reigns ending the career all you want, but know this. The Undertaker chose him. He chose him, and you have to respect that. This is the end. He got the main event over the Universal title. He put Roman Reigns over. He left his gloves, his robe, his hat in the ring. He did this dramatic exhale. Like that. But what made it even more obvious was that he went outside of the ring and he kissed Michelle McCool, his wife. That's what drove it home. This is it. And The Undertaker walked up halfway up that ramp. He put his hand up, he raised it, and he descended back down to the ramp. And for that, you have to give it a standing ovation. And they gave The Undertaker the respect that he so rightfully deserved. This wasn't a perfect match to end his career. But when you hold on for so long, you start running out of time. You run out of time. And when it's all said and done, Roman Reigns was just the right guy in the right place at the right time. And he got the honors. And I know that's not gonna drive home a lot. But it's not about him. It's about The Undertaker. Overall, WrestleMania 33 was exactly what it promoted. The ultimate thrill ride. You had its highs and your lows. Styles Shane, awesome match. Owens Jericho, good match. The Raw Tag Team titles with the Hardy Boys. Jeff Hardy finally getting his W. Good stuff. Seth Rollins Triple H, awesome match. Goldberg Lesnar Demolition Derby. Undertaker's farewell. Awesome stuff. Overall, WrestleMania 33 was a decent WrestleMania. Somewhere in the middle, not in the top, not in the bottom, somewhere in the middle. I'm Dana Rock 08 and thank you, Taker. Thank you, Taker. And I will be there next year in the Superdome. I will make it my life goal to be there when you are inducted in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Taker, the greatest of all time, the real Mr. WrestleMania. Goodbye.